So the next way we can try to use is by using smooth surfaces. So example, okay, comparing a very smooth ground and you put a block over here, and compare a very rough ground, okay, and you have a box over here. Which is easier to push? Okay, example of smooth surfaces like ice. The other one, what kind of surface? Maybe you have sand. Which is easier? Obviously the one with ice, because it has lesser friction. Okay, this guy here, lesser friction. So for the one with lesser friction, you realize it is easier to push. So one of the ways to reduce friction is to use a smooth surface. Okay, use a smooth surface. So this is method 1. Now, for method 2, you can use ball bearing or rollers. So in this case here, imagine, okay, let's get another pen color. So same thing here, we have a surface and we want to push the box across. Imagine, this may be quite easy. However, what if we have rollers? Okay, all of these are like your rollers. Okay, rollers. And you have your box on top. And you realize it's easier, okay, with rollers, it is easier to get the box across. Or get a box over a surface. So why? Why is it easier? Because by using rollers or ball bearings, they serve the same function, looks about the same. It actually helps to reduce friction. Okay, using ball bearing and rollers actually help to reduce friction. So that's the second thing here. Alright, second way to reduce friction. Now, the third way is to use lubrication, grease or oil. Okay, so example WD-40. I wonder how many of you actually have your door hinge. Sometimes your door hinge, it will produce a squeaking sound. Okay, squeaking sound. Your door hinge produces a squeaking sound because of the friction. So what you do is, your dad or your mom, they will take this thing called your WD-40 and they will spray it on the door at the hinge area. And you realize the squeaking sound disappears after that. Why? Because by doing so, by adding lubrication, you are actually reducing friction. And when you reduce the friction, the sound disappears. So this is another way of reducing friction. Now, a fourth way, streamlining. Okay, imagine, okay, the typical way we always draw a car looks like this. Okay, squarish car. Okay, however, in real life, if you look at the cars, they do not look like this. The front of the car generally tends to be curved. Okay, with a little hump here, and things look like this. Okay, now, why is it not so squarish? Why does it have this curve over here? This is what we termed as, okay, this part here is what we termed as streamlining. Okay, now another way you can think of it as, what we're doing is to make the front part a bit sharper so that it cuts the air easier. Okay, by doing so, you are streamlining the object. Okay, so another way of looking at it is that, you have motorboats or your boats, okay, or your kayak. They generally tend to look like this. Okay, there is this there's this very pointed front with a broader middle. Okay, this more narrower front is what we also term as streamlining. So take note, streamlining. Okay, that's how we can do to reduce friction. This is the fourth method. Now, if you look at this Lamborghini, okay, this is a very typical car here. How does it help to go fast? Firstly, is that you have the wheels here. This is something that you do not know, and you cannot see. But they have inside here, there is ball bearings inside. Ball bearing inside. Okay, ball bearing inside. Okay, it helps to reduce friction within the internal components. The other one is, you can look at the front over here. Okay, you realize it is streamlined. Okay, because it is streamlined, it helps to reduce friction. Now, the other thing you do not know again is, within the components, okay, there's actually grease. Okay, obviously it's not within the compartment which you sit. It is where the place the engines are, the place where the wheels are connected. There's actually grease, and grease is actually a lubrication or a lubrication. This lubrication helps to reduce friction. So that's how your race sports car become really fast. They got all these things to help them to go faster. Okay, not saying your typical cars do not have, but the sports car is specially designed with such things to help them. Okay, so that's it for friction. Next part we'll be moving on to magnetic force.